All right, welcome back.
Welcome back. Got saved from the tree in Central Park, according to Herb.
Yeah.
So I'm alive. Well, Thomas was an awesome guest. I also could not get over the fact that he looks exactly like fucking Jared Leto. Like I was looking at him, he's got the gorgeous dark features, the gorgeous eyes. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, dude, you literally look like a carbon copy of Jared Leto. I was jealous. So his check out the last episode, ladies, if you need it. Crypto extraordinaire, the guru of Gemini.
Yep. His card's launching soon. I'm gonna get it.
Good luck. It's like a
card.
200,000 person wait list. I signed up for it too. It's gonna be tough, but I mean, it's a good deal, dude. It's a cool product.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the pod. I was stoked. I left there being like, fuck, I wish I was on that episode. I had so many questions. It was like so interesting, but yeah, good content.
All right, let's hop into it.
What's going on in the world?
As soon as the market closed yesterday, I found out Bill Gates and his wife are getting divorced.
Yeah.
27 years?
Yeah, it was 27 years. The market closed, but the relationship market opened.
Yeah.
Hey. Good time to, oh my God, I texted you immediately. That was a good time to be a teacher off the Melinda Bezos.
Yeah, do you think...
the Bezos route that his wife got with a teacher.
Yeah. What do you think happened? Or do you think, I did read that their youngest kid is 18 or turning 19 this year.
Their youngest one.
Their youngest one. But my thinking was maybe this has been planned a while and they were waiting for their kids to grow up.
Interesting.
I don't know. I've heard of couples doing that.
I feel like I'm crazy because I've always kind of in my mind thought it takes a certain kind of person to be with someone for that long that's that dedicated to their craft. Like Bill Gates' obsession is the progression of humanity, right?
Yeah.
And developing and growing and all the money that they poured into cancer research, which is also the saddest part of all this. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation might
well, apparently they're still going to keep that running as is.
Yeah.
Which I think, how hands-on are they really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're way too busy and they're probably funneling some tax breaks in there. Let's be honest. But they, the other thing too is I wonder, they were married 27 years. So I'm curious if there was a prenup worked in where it's or do they settle the way that Jeff Bezos and his wife did?
I think if I was that rich, I wouldn't care.
That's true. Not only that, 27 years with one person is a long fucking time. That's they were best friends at some point. I'm so curious. I am curious what happened. I think it's just one of those things with with someone that dedicated, you realize it just doesn't work anymore. They probably were waiting for the kid.
Yeah.
The other thing that's great out of this though is the memes. The memes are out of control. It is the best thing between all the one of people dancing and a woman throwing money. It's us with Melinda Gates.
Do you think Bill Gates, what do you think he's doing right now? Do you think does he call up Elon Musk and say, hey, what are you doing tonight? And do they go out?
Elon's kind of with someone, so he might be the driver.
Yeah, Elon has a baby mama, but I think I could see Elon being into some weird stuff.
Oh, for sure.
If they had some sort of open relationship or something, that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Grimes is a psychopath.
Yeah.
She's weird. So
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I would say, Bill and Bezos are hanging out right now. They're both in Seattle. You know that they're probably on that with the group dating app, Foreplay.
Oh.
side texting some chicks. He just jumped on Raya. He's probably let's see, what's he?
Do you think he ends up with do you think in a couple months we see pictures of him surface with a young woman?
I don't think it'll be young. I think it's going to be it's a shame that Theranos went under, but I think it's going to be someone like that, a Marissa Mayer, someone who is in the tech industry and is a leading person in the tech industry.
Do you think he really wants that though? I would think they both want something normal.
Well, Bezos went off with a reporter.
Yeah.
That
yeah. She was you know what I know? She is if you watch Fight Club, there's a scene with a reporter.
Yeah.
And she's in Fight Club in a bit part.
Dude, she was a big reporter in LA. I knew of her.
Yeah. When I first heard about that, that's what I knew her as. She was had this bit part in Fight Club.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's wild. I think he goes. I think Billy finds a random chick. Bill Gates always struck me as like, obviously, like I watched a documentary, he's kind of an asshole, but at the same time, and it's like dog eat dog. But also, like, he's the kind of guy who just wants simple shit. Like, he still goes to Dick's Burgers, which is like the famous burger place in Seattle. Like, they're the equivalent of like, I don't know, it's just their classic burger place. And so, like, he still goes there, still is just like a very like humble Seattle dude, or still like a normal Seattle dude, or tries to be. Where it's like, you know, we joke around Zuckerberg being a robot. Like, Bill's more on the normal side ish.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I could see him just like dating, honestly, just like a regular plebe, like just kind of like, not necessarily, I don't want to say school teacher because it's redundant, but like, I don't know, a woman who works retail at some place is like just a normal Joe, she owns a bookstore. Like, I could see Billy go in there.
Yeah.
That's mine. What do you think his next?
I don't know. I'm curious. I do think we'll see him with someone younger, like not necessarily like a 25-year-old, but like a late 30s, something like that. Like,
is
someone
she famous?
Not super famous, but like known, maybe. Like, I think she'll be like, it'll be someone successful.
Yeah.
You know,
that's kind of what I was saying with like the Marissa Meyer thing. It's like, you know, she's a no name. This is not going to happen, but like, interestingly enough, the Bumble CEO, 32 years old.
She's married though, right?
I don't think she's married. I think she just has a kid.
I could be wrong. I want to say she was engaged or
she was
something.
Engaged to the co-founder of Tinder.
They were,
he ousted her.
Yeah.
And then she started Bumble.
Yeah.
So from there.
I'm trying to remember. I used to follow like the dating app founders like back in the day. I was real into that.
What's going on with the founders of Hinge? Now I'm curious.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, I think that's definitely like the most shocking thing. Like, I don't know, like how many times Melinda and Bill Gates are tied to like all this cancer research. They were like the leaders of all the COVID like developments. It's just insane that like they're tied to so many things like as a unit that now it's just like that was shocking.
Yeah.
It came out of left field, but you know, I mean, things happen, people change, like people just have change of heart, especially like divorce now is like what, like a 50-50 split. So
I was talking to a friend of mine who he broke up with his girlfriend, and she kept asking like why did you break up with me? Like, is it X or Y or whatever? And he was like,
because it's New York summer.
Yeah, well, he literally was just like, I don't know, he just didn't see it like happening in the long term. And I was like, dude, just tell her 9 out of 10 relationships don't work, and the one that does ends in divorce 50% of the time.
That is the most bold thing I've ever heard in my life. It's impeccable. That's a good one.
Yeah. Keep talking. I need to fix my mic for a second.
So yeah, where'd you even hear that from? Where'd you come with off the cuff?
I think it was some comedian.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that, let's see, Billy Gates, they got 2 kids. One's 25. They're all asking to respect the privacy, which actually I thought they've done pretty good about. Like, no one's really reported anything really new, just that they're kind of getting divorced. Things are kind of on the rocks. And yeah, we're still waiting to hear more, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a developing story, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
My prediction is that Melinda ends up getting serious with someone else pretty quickly, probably someone more normal.
Okay.
And then just same thing as Bezos' wife did. And then I think Bill, you'll see, I think
Jeff cheated though, didn't he? Didn't he have an affair?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill could have too.
Could. I mean, theoretically. I don't know if I believe it.
I don't know, man. In a world with that much money and that much access and that much power.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would be so hard to stay faithful.
Before the tech boom, Bill Gates was undisputably, without a doubt, considered the richest and smartest man for like the most consecutive years running, like all my life. Like, it wasn't until the last probably 5 years where that finally he got overthrown by Bezos.
Yeah.
Amazon had a crash, then Tesla and Elon became like up there. It's Tesla's most valued company. But it was like this for like all my life. Bill Gates was known as number one richest man in the world. And then vice versa with like smartest man in the world, or synonymous with those two.
Yeah, yeah.
So you've got all of that. And then like now with just like the way technology's changed and like the way that valuation of companies has evolved, like suddenly like you have these $1 trillion companies and Microsoft has kind of fallen a little bit, which includes like Bill's share of that.
Yeah.
Bill's wealth of the pie, but it's still like, yeah, man. I mean, there's just so much more to find out. I think it's still just like a wait and see mode. It's going to be interesting. I hope there's more facts that come out. Like, I really hope it's not just like we fell out of love or like irreconcilable differences. Like,
yeah, but even if they fall out of love, do they see something better on the other side?
Well, no,
like I feel like so many couples that have been together that long are just like, well, we're here, we've been there this long, so we just stick it out.
I think they tried. So their statement said something interesting. It was like, it's a relationship that we've worked immensely hard at and gone to tons of therapy for, which I thought was fascinating, where it's like, this is clearly like a problem that's been either is like deeply rooted or has been around for a long time, which is like, they went past the phase of like, we're here, this is it. Mm-hmm. Realized they didn't love each other, went through like, hey, this is it. This is the end, or this is like, we're here, to then being like, probably like we're staying together for the final kid, probably. Their youngest in college.
Just get them to.
I mean, that's just food for thought, but I think that there is a lot of context clue to be in the statement when it says like, we've worked really hard at this. We've tried to like repair this. We've gone to therapy, like lots of therapy and time there. Like that to me, couples therapy, and maybe like I'm the worst person to ask because I've never been married or done that, but like is always like the final straw. It's like there's a huge problem that clearly you two in the room can't figure out. You need a moderator to kind of try and like step in and like put you on the same page kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the biggest telling thing. I'm like living in the same room as somebody the other thing too is like if they have that much of an issue, like were they just like hating each other in the same bed? Like at what point?
Yeah,
like,
I don't see
I'm
it
just at the Redmond house every week.
Yeah,
and, like your mom's in downtown Seattle. Like
I don't see it as like this thing where they're like arguing and fighting. Like I think they're too smart to be people that just fight and argue over stuff like that. Like have screaming matches.
Do you know what she did? Did you look into what she did or who she was before they got married? By chance?
She worked for Microsoft.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she was a product manager at Microsoft. And they met in like 1986 or something.
Damn.
And he was her boss.
For Windows 97, for Windows 95, the OG.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it went more along the lines of, hey, this might go better if we separate, but we'll keep the foundation. We still get along. Like, it doesn't appear messy. Yeah. I mean, I have no idea. That's just my instinct.
I pray for the memes if like Bezos and Bill Gates are just spotted walking around Washington together, just having a combo, because that they're just up to no good. They're scoundreling.
Yeah.
Can we offer? We should make an award or like a title, like Scoundrel of the Week.
Yeah.
And it would be for Bill and Jeff just getting dirty.
Jeff comes off like he would be down for that though. Bill seems so meek and so nice.
I know, but dude, watch the doc on Netflix. He's a fucking killer.
Yeah.
He's got a killer instinct of like dog eat dog. Like he just kind of, he's pretty ruthless, low key.
Yeah. I actually was about to like watch the doc before you came over, but I didn't have enough time.
It's a good one. It's fascinating. It just paints him another light. And like, what's funny is I remember being a kid and people were like, Microsoft was an idea stolen from somebody else, like kind of like that whole like Bill Gates, just like, whenever someone's at the top, people try to slander their name, and it was like, oh, Bill Gates isn't original, he steals ideas, and it was like, he got the idea of Microsoft from somebody else and then took it and ran. It's like, he still created it.
Yeah.
It's
he
like
still built
implemented it, built it. Like it makes sense, but it's just like one of those things where it's like, that's the way the world works, right? Like sometimes you have to step on people to get to the top, and like he's no different in the same way that like Zuck stepped on a bunch of people to get where he's at. Like
Yeah, I mean that's how it works.
Yeah.
Do you think does Bill Gates have an Instagram? Probably not.
We can check actually.
No, you can't.
Check. Fuck. At Billy G.
Yeah, I was just wondering, if he has like women like hitting him up now.
Oh my God, to be in those DMs, dude.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Just like, especially like, just the thirstiness that's probably in there. We're talking like probably a couple Real Housewives are in there. Hey,
Yeah,
Bill,
definitely people
hope you're
that
doing okay.
people that are after a lifestyle.
All of Dan Bilzerian's thoughts that realized he doesn't have any money
Yeah.
are all in there. The caller daddy
Yeah.
girls are probably in his DMs right now. Bill, it'd be okay.
I think I think my prediction though he'll end up with
Paul,
someone.
she'll blow anybody.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. I think that chick's gross. You heard me. Podcast war. Take the beat.
Yeah. I think he ends up with someone younger though. That's bold. My
bold prediction.
yeah.
Okay, so
and it'll be someone who is, like hot. Like it'll be someone like remember Robert Kraft, like the Patriots owner. Remember when his wife died?
Yeah.
Within a couple months, he's walking around with like some blonde chick.
Robert Kraft has some swag though.
Yeah, but not. And it wasn't like a 25-year-old. She was like, in her. I guess she's like in her 40s, maybe. I don't know off the top of my head.
Wife's a babe too.
Yeah.
They Kraft has a lot of swag though. Like he hangs out with Jay-Z,
yeah,
Puff Daddy. Like he has all these huge parties where they like all wear Daytona $30,000 Rolexes, and that's like the give me like it's like the giveaway.
Yeah, but I think he ends up with someone
interesting.
Someone someone out there a little bit. Same like Elon and Bezos.
Well, Elon's just unique. Bezos was surprising. Oh, God, dude, yeah. I mean, the other one too. Well, is it like Kanye wanted somebody creative? I think Kim K's with Maluma. I don't know why this all came to my mind because of Elon, who like hung out with Kanye. But yeah, man, it'll be interesting. That's so bold prediction. Younger and somewhat famous. Someone we've heard of.
Yeah, maybe not someone we've heard of, but some like what Jeff Bezos did, like a reporter.
Gotcha.
And
she's hot.
Not saying she's going to be a reporter, but someone who has drive and is successful, because I think he would want to be with that, but not necessarily someone who's an A-lister.
And I'm saying average Joe, probably pretty, but like older woman pretty.
Yeah.
Like not
but prettier than Melinda.
Melinda's not pretty.
Yeah.
Melinda's, I was looking
That's
at
what I'm saying.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like that was true love at one point.
Do you think that's what ended it? Do you think he...
No, I don't think so.
You fall out of attraction and think, I can do a little better.
But you know what, though? That said, it could be... I do believe that sometimes, especially when you're married younger or for like a longer time, it's like sometimes something happens way back when. So like maybe somebody was unfaithful, probably Bill, potentially.
Yeah.
And like that wound never healed, no matter how hard they tried. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, hey, like we're going to try to fix this till our youngest daughter, little Karen or whatever, goes to college.
Yeah.
Couldn't fix it. She's been waiting for this day forever. Her daughter's going to leave for school. And she's like, bam, papers.
Yeah.
Irreconcilable differences.
Yeah. She'll have someone else real quick, I think. Like it'll be someone.
That's bold. I guess. I mean, that's how these people work. They don't have fucking time. They don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
They have all the time. When you are that rich, you literally don't have anything to do.
And the whole world comes to you.
The whole world comes to you. She's had someone in her bed for 23 years, and now all of a sudden, like, she's going to be alone. That's not going to last long. Like,
yeah.
What's her name? The Bezos chick moved on in like.
Yeah, I think it'll be a similar
months.
thing.
It's like, God, what a good time to be a school teacher in Seattle, huh?
Yeah. Is that what the guy was? A school teacher in Seattle? Do you know how they met? I tried to look it up before, but I didn't have time.
I want to say it was something to like at the kids' school.
At her kid's school?
Yeah. Their kid's school.
Interesting.
I believe so.
I wonder if that was stirring before the divorce.
I mean, the guy probably shot his shot. He's like, I just know you just found yourself into $400 million.
Yeah.
No, she's $1 billion.
Yeah. I wonder if he if they'd known each other a long time and he was planting seeds like years before, thinking like if this happens one day. Kind of that
joke's on us, man.
Yeah.
It's a smart move.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what do you got on the Aaron Rodgers stuff? Have you been following it?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, because I was going back and I saw Terry Bradshaw had an interview this morning, and Terry Bradshaw was ripping on Aaron Rodgers and basically said that he's weak. Yeah. That's what he said. He said Aaron Rodgers is weak and he's complaining and he's a baby and he kind of should just like shut up and play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's that generation is always like criticizing people, right? Like in the similar vein, like every NBA player is like, none of these guys could play in our era. Maybe 2 players.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
The game evolves, people change, athletes change. It's horseshit. But like that said, I think, times are just different too, where it's like, because of the structure of the way things work, I think what Aaron's doing right now, I kind of respect it because it is the only shot the players have to basically protect their rights, right? Like if Aaron broke his leg, the team could theoretically cut him tomorrow. Look at Alex Smith. Alex Smith is out of the league after leg surgery. And then basically,
they let him come. Like he
came back, but then did you see the comments afterwards? He's like, they patronized him. They're like, why are you even playing? Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Like, I think they just literally had nobody to play in the quarterback room because the other guy was the fucking kid from Ohio State that was trash.
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins. Yeah, but Alex Smith got the last laugh though. He won a division and went 5-1 as a starter.
Yeah, he did, and then he retired.
Yeah. Well, apparently he had other offers to go.
The Jags wanted
to go be a backup somewhere, but he didn't feel like doing it.
No, I mean, and that's true. But like the fact is, like he had a similar situation in San Francisco, right? The guy was a starter, led the team to the playoffs. Was one of the best quarterbacks in the league when they basically benched him and put Kaepernick in. Yeah. Who led him to a Super Bowl appearance. And essentially, like, Alex Smith has never badmouthed San Francisco. He literally left the door, or like was screaming. He basically talked shit about Washington. He was like, the coaches are patronizing me. It was a shit run organization. He's like, I really didn't appreciate it. Like, I felt unappreciated there. And like, I don't know. He's a classy dude.
Yeah, like, I haven't heard these comments yet. I need to look him up.
Look him up. He basically ripped him on the way out, which I feel like is very uncharacteristic of Alex Smith.
Yeah, that's not like him at all.
So like that's kind of one of those things where I'm like, it's and that's not necessarily on the ownership as much as like the staff, but still, I mean, point being that like one thing I found fascinating and I heard today was essentially like Aaron Rodgers has a no trade clause technically in his contract. Yeah. So, or the equivalent of that. It's basically like he doesn't have to show up. So let's say Green Bay doesn't want to trade him. Green Bay doesn't care about where he wants to go. They want to trade him to the Houston Texans for Deshaun Watson, let's say, right? If Aaron doesn't want to go, the way the CBA works, or like the way trades work in the NFL, the policy, it's basically if he doesn't show up to his physical or show up to the first workout, the trade doesn't go through. So in theory, he kind of holds a no trade clause because he doesn't have to show up to work. For whatever team. So that's why Green Bay and Aaron are kind of partnering on where he wants to go. So that's why he can say things like, I'd only go to West Coast teams. I like the Raiders. I like Denver. And like Green Bay's still just like, we're not going to let you walk. But that's an interesting part of it. I don't think he's weak for it. I think he's smart.
Yeah, I do think he's a really smart guy.
Yeah. And honestly, I like seeing movement in the NFL. Like,
I do too.
Because my team is like, I like fantasy football. I like seeing guys move around. I like not being able to predict how situations fit. Mm-hmm. Like, it creates chaos. It's fun. Like, I think putting Aaron Rodgers on another team would be really interesting because it would just shake up the dynamic of the league. Yeah. Like, I'm sick of Green Bay. I know what Green Bay is going to do. I know their weapons. Yeah. I know who their team is. Like, it is very status quo. They're not even a fun football team to watch, like, on Sundays, like, because they are run so much for me. Like, I think they go through Aaron Jones and, like, work in Jamal Williams enough that I'm almost uninterested to watch them play. And then, rarely do you see Aaron Rodgers make 30 pass attempts anymore. It just doesn't happen. They don't have to. Yeah, they run the clock out, and that's their style of play.
Yeah. my thing is, if he's trying to win, I don't really see a better roster that he can go to than Green Bay.
I agree.
Like, at least available. Like, he could have gone to Tampa Bay last
Denver's
year.
not a better team.
No way.
Green Bay.
He has he has Devontae Adams, and he has like a top 5 offensive line every year.
Yep.
And
top 5 offensive line, a top running back. Denver, their best receiver is Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, unless Cortland Sutton's a quarterback away from being Devontae Adams. I don't know.
But
they definitely don't have the line play.
Running back.
Yeah.
Like last time I don't
know. I was trying to understand the motives why he where does he think he's going to go that's better?
Aaron Rodgers.
Unless he really wanted to go to L.A. or San Francisco.
He's a quirky dude.
Yeah.
I don't think. Look, he's another one where you can kind of just read the writing on the wall. He doesn't talk to his family.
Yeah.
Right? Has a bad relationship with his family.
That's interesting too.
Completely cut them off. There's rumors flying around from many people I've talked to that he's a homosexual, a closet homosexual.
I don't buy it. That's extreme.
So I find this, I will not name my source, or I won't name it on the pod, but I have a friend who was, loose term as a friend, an old friend of mine who was actually platonic, nothing sexual or anything like that, was hooking up with a lineman on the Packers.
Uh-huh.
And apparently it was a known thing in the locker room, but he's engaged, right? So it's kind of to an also very knowingly weird person. Shailene Woodley is an activist, grows armpit hair, is objectively very odd, and shows up to protest and fights the fucking pipeline, the Dakota pipeline, shit like that. So weird. He likes to host Jeopardy. He's an eccentric dude. You know what I mean? He's just out there.
I found it so weird that he dated Olivia Munn and Danica Patrick for years, and then he broke up with Danica seems like a year ago maybe, and then all of a sudden he's engaged to this actor. Oh,
When I heard she's an actress, when I heard this, my thought was you guys ended up being pandemic lockdown buddies. And fell in love in the pandemic because it came out of nowhere.
But I feel like Aaron Rodgers is too smart to
He's football smart. I don't necessarily think, and he's book smart. I don't know that he's necessarily that. I have an issue with him in terms of I feel like I could see him basically wearing his heart in his sleeve and just basically falling in love. All of his relationships
I guess
didn't make any practical sense, right? Danica Patrick and him are the most random combo ever. And he went from Olivia Munn, who's the most...
You know what was also interesting is Munn and Danica Patrick were both older than him.
Oh, interesting.
By 2 or 3 years.
They didn't have great things to say about him either. Well, Danica was he broke my heart. He's terrible. Olivia Munn kind of tossed some shade at him that he kind of sucked in bed.
Yeah.
Yep. That's some shady shit. Something's off with him. There's always been something a little bit quirky about Aaron Rodgers. That dude, I like him as a football player. If he was my quarterback, I'd be obsessed with him. Doesn't, but
he's so moody though. He doesn't come across as there's moments, but overall he doesn't come across as a guy that you'd want to hang out with particularly. You know?
Well, you hit on that with moments, right? I love the fact that if I was an NFL player, I would do kind of things like him or what Jared Allen used to do, where it's I'd grow a mustache with handlebars, you know? Or,
he's cool.
Do weird, quirky things like that because I think it's funny, and to troll the media. But at the same time, I'm with you. He just seems like football's not a priority, or he doesn't really care about it. He's just really good at it, and he just says fuck it.
Yeah. But the conversation is also, and I think about this with his parents too, is how much do you owe what brought you to your success? You know what I mean? So with these guys that are in the NFL, especially these quarterbacks, their parents have been taking them to camps and paying a lot of money to get them in these passing academies from the time they're 2 years old.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily the case with him though, because I haven't read up to know it, but his path to the NFL has been very awkward, right?
Yeah, he did go to
community college.
JUCO first. Yeah,
he went to Butte College in Northern California. He's from I forgot what area he's from, but he's from Northern California. Went to Butte College, and then went to Cal.
Yeah.
which is also like never been traditionally a good football school.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. I don't know. I just assume that the parents have to put a lot in to get you that talented.
yeah,
And then to just like drop them when
not
you
just them,
finally
the
make
whole,
them.
even the brothers, like
Yeah.
not talk to anybody.
Yeah. Like
And-
don't give them Super Bowl tickets, like nothing.
And I want to know what happened. I thought we almost found out on The Bachelor, but
Yeah.
nobody will fucking talk about it. He
Yeah.
won't talk about it. Olivia Munn wouldn't talk about it. And now
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers wouldn't talk about it. I'm so fucking curious.
I don't know. I almost think it's like,
They might. Do you think they just hit
know.
him up for money at about downtime, or like called him out because he didn't show up to something, and were like, "Dude, you're so famous, like you're forgetting about your family."
I think it
He's
was
like, "Fuck
I think
you."
it was something like that where he got rich and got famous and kind of just became distant on its own, and then they probably were reaching out like yelling at him about it, and then he was like, I don't need this.
I could
Kinda
see
thing,
that.
you know?
I mean, like that's just the kind of dude he is. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. He just seems like a selfish guy. But I'm with. I mean, not to belabor the point. It's like there's not a lot of teams out there that are a quarterback away and win ready as much as the Packers are. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna win the division this year probably. They're gonna go.
Yeah. Unless he went to there was talk about I think if he would have went to San Francisco, he could have would have been a good situation for
San
him.
Francisco's a good fit, but they offered the
Yeah.
world for him, and
Yeah.
whatever the Gutzner or whatever their GM said, basically told him to take the hike, and that was a
Yeah.
good offer.
I don't know. I would love to know what his actual his main motives are, is that why he doesn't want to be there.
I mean, but yeah, kind of. Sorry, that was the main point. It was he's a weird, quirky guy. I just wouldn't be shocked if he does wants a change of scenery. Like it's not like he's playing in California or Florida or
Yeah.
New York. Like he's playing in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
know what I
that's,
mean?
that's
Like-
yeah.
And he's played there his whole career. Like guy probably just wants to change it up. His girlfriend lives in LA, I assume. She's an
Yeah.
actress.
I think he
or-
wanted to get traded to the Rams.
I think he did too.
Yeah.
I wanted him to. We kicked the tires on him, and apparently he like got kind of the same thing. Like they weren't interested in they didn't even entertain it.
Yeah.
Said we gave away a bunch for Matt Stafford. So hopefully that pans out. I would have loved Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers.
He would have loved to be there too. He would thrive there.
That's his scene. He loves that. You got the Jeopardy studios out there. He's dating a Hollywood actress. It seems like it'd be the perfect fit. And he's a California guy, like warm weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see.
What do you
That'll
think
be interesting.
happens?
I think they agree to stay on the pretenses that he agrees to stay on the pretenses that they look for a trade suitor in the offseason or by the trade deadline. The thing is, like, if something's not materializing now, you now lost an extra round of draft picks because they could have the third pick in the draft. Where do you go? And technically they drafted a quarterback last year. So now you'd have, if they took the Niners 3 pick, or they took Trey Lance from the Niners, now you'd have 2 first-round quarterbacks that are really similar skill set, both just like really young
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
that like
What?
really
Yeah.
raw. They just need to like develop. And so it's like,
Yeah. Well, I think if San Fran would have traded for Rodgers, they wouldn't. The Green Bay wouldn't have taken the 3 pick because San Fran traded up for that.
I thought that was a part of the agreement. It was the 3 more picks, Garoppolo, and then I think they offered like more position players too.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So they gave like, from what it sounded like, it was a haul. It was like a lot.
yeah.
Um,
Apparently, I heard an interview with Kyle Shanahan. They asked him if he called about Aaron Rodgers, and he was like, it was kind of funny. He was like, yeah, I called. He's like, if a player like that is going up, I have to do my due diligence.
Yeah.
And he tried to get in touch with the Green Bay GM, and the Green Bay GM was like, yeah, no, we're not doing anything right now.
And I think him and what's the name of their coach? Do you remember?
Matt LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur is boy. So Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, and God damn it, and the dude and Sean McVay are all boys from their Washington days. They all at some point had ties to Washington coaching.
Yeah.
So they're all like really, really close friends. McVay and LaFleur were in LA together. LaFleur was our tight end coach, I believe. Might have been the quarterback's coach. And then they hired him because he basically elevated Goff's game. And
Yeah.
I mean,
he went to Tennessee first, right? something like that.
Was he?
I think he did it. He did a year as Tennessee's offensive coordinator or something.
And then
like that.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but that like all those guys have a tie together where it's like they're all boys.
Yeah.
And so it's just funny that it's like that there's that connection that's like they pick up the phone. I think it's just I can't even imagine that conversation. Like they might even be having a beer together when they're having it, like on FaceTime. He's like, dude, what's up? Like, what's going on with Rodgers? Can we get him? And LaFleur's like, dude, fuck off. Like, this is the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I don't know. He's apparently threatened to retire. We'll see if he actually does. That would be a shame if he did that.
Yeah, that'd be annoying. But also, like, I'm just sick of the Packers. I don't really.
They had this same situation with Favre.
Yeah.
It's so weird how it's similar. It's panning out.
Right? And I saw another funny stat that was no Packers quarterback has played more than 9 seasons with the team or something like that. Bart Starr, Brett Favre, both left in like 8 years and something. Or like
8 years? No, they were here much longer than that. Favre was there from 93 to 07.
How many years is that?
Like 16, something like that. 15.
So I think it's maybe it's some weird parallel where like all 3 of them are aligning to where they've all played the same tenure at Green Bay and ready to leave.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Bart Starr had the same amount of years as Favre. Favre had the same amount of years as Rodgers is coming on now, and they're all basically like they're all asking out. They all got out. Rodgers is asking out. So if they award it to him, then it's basically none of their best quarterbacks of all time have crossed a certain threshold. I guess it must be like 15 or 16 years.
Whatever.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It sounds like it's sometimes when things like this happen, I'm kind of like, it's just people talking, but it sounds like it's for real. But yeah, I mean, he's crazy if he thinks he's going to go to a better roster in Vegas or Denver.
I mean, I just think like, at what point is it about winning and about it being personal? It's like, if you want to win, you want to stay in Green Bay. But I can kind of see where he's frustrated because it's like the roster hasn't changed too much. And like they can't get out of that NFC Championship.
Yeah, I mean that is incredible. Yeah,
that's where I kind of understand that a little bit. It's like it feels like Green Bay ownership always feels like if the ball bounced one different direction, they would be in the Super Bowl.
I mean that's kind of true.
It is kind of true, but like they stick to it enough where it's like their response isn't like let's go and build and make trades and bring free agents and like get better in material positions. It's like let's just work really hard and hope that ball bounces the other way next year, right? Like, I don't know any big moves that Green Bay made in terms of, like, roster adjustments. They re-signed Aaron Jones. They're trying to, like, restructure Aaron Rodgers. They asked Aaron Rodgers to restructure his contract.
Yeah. When LaFleur came in, they brought in a couple good defensive guys. Like I forget. They got a guy from the Ravens and then another guy – the Smith brothers, the pass rushers. But since LaFleur came in, I can't really think of anyone that's gone in or out besides Jordan Love.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like that, but I think they're one of those teams too. I think more so than any team. It's like they don't really make really big splash decisions. Like Jordy or what's his name? Fucking
Jordy Nelson?
No, Graham.
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham was like the biggest splash move they made.
Yeah, but he
didn't do shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're just not a huge flashy team that like makes big signings.
Yep.
All their guys are like homegrown. Jordy Nelson was from there.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think Green Bay's a hard sell to free agents.
Yeah.
Like if I'm on the end of my contract and I have teams interviewing me and I have a kind of somewhat of a choice of where to go, I mean, Green Bay, Wisconsin is pretty far down on the list. And that could just be it for Aaron. Maybe he just doesn't want to spend, 6 months out of the year living in Green Bay.
It's funny though. It's like, that's really the only argument for against it. Like no one's like, oh, who could blame him? Green Bay's great. Oh, who could blame him? Like they've built they've been signing all these free agents like for him. Like it is basically the one knock is like, where else are you gonna win? Like this is your best shot at winning a Super Bowl, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, he should have did this last year to get to Tampa Bay.
Oh, that would have been gnarly. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Where would Tom Brady have gone? retired.
Well, I think that was a big reason Tom Brady made that move. I think he had been thinking about it probably his last 2 years or whatever in New England, and I think he was kind of waiting for the right opportunity. And I think he knew he had the situation in Tampa, and then I think he was also flirting with San Francisco for a little bit.
Well, yeah, and what miffed him too was San Francisco called Bill, and Bill listened and was like, "We could figure something out."
Yeah.
Or no, they called about Jimmy, and Bill had said, "Well, what about Tom?"
Yeah.
And fucking Shanahan was like, "I thought he was," or Lynch, one of them was like, "I thought he was fucking with me."
Yeah.
Like I didn't think he was serious, but like, I mean, he shopped Brady. That was like the start of like everything being like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I've given you guys everything.
Yeah.
Brought you 5 Super Bowls. Like, how dare you?"
Yeah. Well, I also think the Brady divorce from New England was a little like amicable. Like I think that he knew that team, the way the roster was and the way the cap was going to have to go through a period where they weren't going to win for like a year or two. Yeah. And then he knew that he could jump to Tampa and win right away.
I mean, that was the other thing too, right? It's like they didn't surround him with shit that year. I mean, he had nothing on that team.
Yeah, that last year, 2019, you could tell that unless they were just going to have a little bit of a downtime. Yeah,
Antonio Brown was like the only thing they kind of helped him. He played one game because of his suspension. He like couldn't stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else they had. Their offense had literally nobody.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah. They lost like Amendola and like Gronk, and then
Edelman was hurt for most of the year. Their best wide receiver was what am I drawing a blank? It's the same guy, N'Keal Harry.
Who's hasn't
gonna
done
drop
much.
balls from Mac Jones this year too.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. I wonder if Mac Jones takes the job from Cam Newton. That's a good situation. I'm also excited.
I think eventually,
I'm very excited for this NFL season. Like, I don't know if it was because of the draft hype was so high this year, like with all these kids coming out, especially all these quarterbacks. Like, I'm stoked for the draft, for like this football season. Like Justin Fields, I think, is going to take the job in Chicago. It'll be exciting to see the Trevor Lawrence experiment.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how good they'll be right away. I don't know if they can beat the Colts, but
no, and I think
my bold prediction is Carson Wentz big rebound year with the Colts.
I think so too. He's coming back with his offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
they drafted him like
that. The AFC South, besides the Texans, I think could be super competitive.
Oh my God! Let's say Deshaun Watson comes back. It's like
even if he does that, they're still not going to be competitive.
Who's on that team anymore?
Yeah,
like that fucking guy.
Yeah,
that sucks. I wouldn't play. I would if I'm him. I would try to serve my suspension as soon as possible and just like wait it out.
Yeah.
And then do you lose your contract year? Like if he sits out of suspension, I think I don't think he can. It counts towards an eligible.
They already
year.
paid him, didn't they?
I mean, he's still obligated by a contract. They give him probably a fat signing bonus, but he's still under contract for the next 3 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting for Aaron Rodgers' lawyer, for the lawyers to come out and say Aaron Rodgers loves massage parlors. Or find some other quirky shit that they're going to dig up on him.
Yeah. Do you see him at the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah, he looked like...
his like hair all slicked back.
He looked a mess, whereas like Tom Brady's looking all with the hat.
Yeah.
Perfectly tailored suit.
So
very
funny.
Classic. What so what's going on with COVID? What do you have any updates for us on New York?
It's coming back.
Back.
But we'll talk about that next week.
All right. It works. Can't wait to hear it. Thanks guys for coming out. We'll talk to you soon. Peace out.
Peace.